Welcome back to your aviation news recap. There's another airline that is frustrated with current engine difficulties. KLM is launching new services, and Etihad Airways has announced a massive profit. Why not begin there, with the company publishing its financial performance across the first 9 months of 2024, with, yes, record-breaking results. The very big highlight of the airline's performance was that of revenues reaching AED 18.4 billion after strong demand continued. This substantial revenue tally was also an increase 21% year over year, and solid results were seen right across the business, whether this being from your passenger operations, which continued their trajectory in an upward fashion, or even remarkable growth across the cargo business, which, don't you worry, I will get into a little bit later. 13.6 million passengers were carried across the first 9 months, which staggeringly represented a 35% jump year over year. Etihad Airways has strongly committed to expanding its route network in the last year, and this has also been made possible thanks to the addition of more aircraft. While Etihad Airways has been one of the many airlines that has had to battle supply chain difficulties, it can ultimately remain thankful that it's been able to take delivery of new planes, period, and at the rate it has done to aid all this future growth that we're now seeing translated into financial performances that are fantastic. Other landmark results included an AED 1.4 billion profit after tax, which is quite significantly higher than the same period 1 year prior. Etihad Airways is driving growth right across this business. However, it's looking to use a strategy that is more sustainable than it may have in the past. Yes, once again, I'm looking directly at the early 2010s, when this was an airline hell-bent on growing its presence out of Abu Dhabi. It therefore was purchasing so many new aircraft, and on top of that, it was also looking to invest in many airlines. Pretty much, though, every decision that it would make would be the wrong one, whether it be investments in aircraft it would not need, or investments in airlines that wouldn't work out. This time it's trying to do all this in a more calculated and measured manner. Furthermore, Etihad says it also wants to optimize its operational efficiencies to make sure it performs on a daily basis in the most efficient way, and a focus is also being placed on improving customer service. Passenger revenue was another highlight, increasing by some 21% to AED 15.2 billion. These increases were made possible thanks to the increased flight frequencies and the optimization of the assets available across its network, with a view of serving in-demand markets. Meanwhile, your average passenger load factors jumped actually 1 percentage point to 87% year over year, and the demand for its services remained robust for those first 9 months. Interestingly, to actually see passenger load factors jump by 1 percentage point is probably, you'd say, a testament to the direction that Etihad is heading and how it's being very calculated with the routes it's launching. It isn't necessarily uncommon for an airline to jump into some pretty major expansion and see subsequent load factors drop, as maybe these services that would launch don't have the numbers straight away or do initially and then die down. It shows that Etihad's heading in a positive direction. As for the cargo division, well, revenue rose to 3 billion, that being 21% year-over-year increase. The freight division says it saw continued great capacity, higher volumes, and improved yields. Over to KLM, they're expanding their international network next year by announcing 3 new routes that are set to launch. So from the 8th of May 2025, KLM has committed to launching non-stop flights from Amsterdam through to San Diego. The route will depart thrice weekly and feature a 3-class configuration aircraft, that being the Dreamliner, with World Business Class, Premium Comfort Class, and Economy. KLM further adds that you can expect departures to be on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, with the flight designated as KL639, KL640. Meanwhile, they're also committed to flying further down south. On the 4th of June, they will launch flights from Amsterdam to Georgetown in Guyana, departing twice weekly, but there is a little bit of a catch. This flight will act as a triangular one. KLM confirms the route will originate in obviously its home of Amsterdam, but first arrive in St. Martin and then experience a short 1 hour, 20-minute layover before departing for Georgetown. Lastly, as part of the new route expansion, KLM will debut thrice weekly flights to Hyderabad in India on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. KLM noting that this service will depart in the morning from Amsterdam as KL873, returning to their home from Hyderabad as KL874, with an early 2:20 in the morning departure local time. KLM is committed to increasing its connectivity right around the world. All these aforementioned locations will form important pillars of their international route network long into the future. San Diego is known for its coastline and diverse landscapes, but more importantly, it's the third largest metropolitan area in California, and KLM says is going to be very important for its business market. Guyana has lots of untapped potential and also business traffic flow to complement the existing desire to visit for tourism. And lastly, well, Hyderabad has pharmaceutical companies that call this location home. The route will elevate the airline's Indian presence as well in a market that is ever growing. Lastly, Lufthansa, an avid user of the 787 Dreamliner, has become the latest airline to face challenges with its Rolls Royce engines on the series. Rolls Royce has been front and centre for quite some time, following a general inability to complete maintenance for Trent 1000 engines on time. Furthermore, durability issues have continued to creep up on customers such as Lufthansa, resulting in operational inefficiencies. Furthermore, durability issues have continued to creep up on airline customers and Rolls-Royce broadly, resulting in operational inefficiencies that are going to impact the airlines affected. Lufthansa utilises the 787 Dreamliner for its long-haul flying, and now following reporting from Aviation Week, it is considering a future without as heavy a reliance on Rolls-Royce. The future would look to leverage the ability offered to 787 customers to choose between GE or Rolls-Royce, with now Lufthansa looking to GE. If executed, the switch would see the airline essentially make follow-up 787 Dreamliner and prospective future orders powered by GE engines. This a real power move and follows Lufthansa's frustrations with Rolls-Royce over an inability to fundamentally keep to schedule and the impact that this flag carrier is then facing. Lufthansa haven't had it easy. They've been one of those airlines that just nothing really seems to be going right. While they have had brand-related difficulties in the last few years, they've certainly not been aided by the inability to also acquire new aircraft because of supply chain related issues. And now it's engines problems. It's almost where will it end for them? Rolls-Royce at the very least has acknowledged the impact that they're having on airlines such as the German company, and they're looking to address this by investing more resources into fixing the problems. However, while Rolls-Royce is obviously the one that produces the engine and has their name attached, obtaining spare parts and sticking to schedules isn't just down to them. Supply chains have been decimated in recent times, and companies just like Rolls-Royce are grappling with the many difficulties of trying to secure parts that they just can't get. This has a knock-on effect to their airline customers. Lufthansa wouldn't be the first, and equally probably won't be the last. For example, British Airways recently cancelled flights with its Dreamliner because of issues related to Rolls-Royce. Thai Airways also expressed public frustrations related to its challenges when it comes to overall maintenance on this aircraft and an inability to have these planes when it needs them. That'll conclude today's aviation recap. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Please take care, be safe, and I'll see you next time for your latest industry news.
And we'll fly.